Welcome to the Land Your Bet Sports Betting Show. Looking at Thursday in the NBA here. Got a few player props on the card. Still a lot of injury news that we got to look at. So we're going to be coming back with the live show, 5:30 p.m. Eastern, as we do every weekday, to make sure we get all the bets in, as we get all the news in that we get from these lineups, injury reports, and all the rotations and coach speak. I also do want to go through how we did on Wednesday night. I don't want to, but I have to. And we didn't do that great. Lost 2.5 units. But man, I just want to show you the variance of the NBA as we get into this record, because so much luck that was going our way, now not going our way. I still like the looks, and I like the looks I got for tonight. So if that all sounds good, give that video a like. Let's get right into it. 4 and 7 lost minus 2.5 units there on the night, which, to be honest, 7 losses, mitigating that into just 2.5 units lost, I'm going to take it. That's what we do. We mitigate the damage during the nights where we can't control how much stuff went not our way. And then we come back with a vengeance when stuff does go our way and we capitalize. But if you look at the 4 victories, Donnie Mitchell made us wait until the last minute or two to get his 5th rebound after having 4 in the first half. That was one of the few things that went our way. The other one would be this Obi Toppin 11.5 points victory that we capitalized on because he went to the free throw line with 11 points in like 26 seconds left in the game. Such as the variance of sports. That one went our way. Jonas, easy double-double. Got that in the beginning of the third. Had 10 rebounds at the half. Should have just pounded the alt lines on the rebounds. Should have really focused on that. That's what I love the most about the bet. I thought the 10 points was easy, but I loved the rebounds. But we should have gotten that at a little bit more than just the 10. We'll take even money on a full unit 1. Dame was the first bet of the night in the video last night. So that was a nice, easy victory as well. He made us wait a little bit until the beginning of the fourth quarter, but he looked fine. Kelly Oubre, 11 points at the half, needed 7 more, couldn't do it. Tell me if you've heard this story before. Kyle Kuzma, 10 points at the half, needed 10 more in the second, missed about, 70% of his shots. He shot worse than 30% from the field, despite leading the team in field goal attempts by a wide margin. Jalen Duren, double-double, had 9 boards, 8 rebounds going into the fourth quarter. Didn't play the fourth quarter. Didn't play much of the third quarter, if we're being honest, either, because they blew out the Nets, and the blowouts came into play here. They just screwed us. Same thing with RJ Barrett. Blowout came into play, didn't play the end of the third, didn't play the fourth. After playing 32 minutes a couple nights ago, RJ plays 28 last night as the Knicks smack them. And that's just what it is, man. He went like 1 for 5 from 3. Can't control that stuff. The usage was there. The minutes were there until the game got out of control. Stuff we can't control. So you just keep betting, push through it, and hope for the best. Because if you're making the plays that you know that are educated, you're gonna push through these sort of slumps that you hit when reverse luck just comes to you, right? Cat on the dimes, rode with the squad on that one. He had one taken away, ended with 2. Probably should have ended with 3, but not 4. So that's what we needed to get the plus money. I was chasing plus money. Still saw it as an EV bet, meaning over time, if we bet Cat at plus 105 to get 4 assists, especially like in the game against the Raptors last night, he's going to hit it consistently. Just didn't last night. Russell Westbrook was the most painful one to me because he had 5 rebounds at the half. Russ, you can trust. You can trust him to bring the energy and the effort. Didn't have to play in the second half. Barely played. Got 1 rebound, ended with 6. Frustrating night, man. This is just, you got to push through this stuff. Giannis over 29.5 points, also barely played the fourth quarter because that was a blowout. Stuff you cannot control, man. And I would have bet the Spurs covered in that game, and they got smacked in that one. So once again, stuff you can't control. He didn't even play 32 minutes for Giannis. So there's just nothing you can do when those blowouts happen or a guy just misses all of his shots. But we're chasing volume. We're chasing the ability to put those shots up. So I want the guys taking the shots, not the ones who randomly shoot 70% from deep or whatever, and you get lucky, right? And you sort of luck into a win here. We're taking the guys who are just going to come back with more minutes, more shots, more assists, potential assists and rebound chances. And we're going to keep chasing that stuff. And it'll come back around here probably tonight, definitely in the next week or so. We'll be right back to where we were, get back above that 50 unit mark. So we're going to get into what I've got here for today. And reminder that you do want to come back onto the live show, 5:30 p.m. Eastern. Bring your bets, jump in the comments, and we'll go through all the value that we can find as news is coming out at that point in time, right, for the injuries and the rotation. So let's get into what we've got here already on the card, though, for Thursday. Quick reminder as we get into what we got here using Props Madness. If you do not yet have a propsmadness.com account, it is the best product you need to have when betting on the NBA. A nice one-stop shop, the most efficient way to get all the info that you need at once. Use code LYB if you do want to sign up, get 25% off your first month. And also you get a first week on a trial there, first week free, I should say, on a trial if you're interested in checking it out before you do make any purchases. But let's get into what we've got here. I'll go through the games that I don't have plays for just to give you a look before we get back to this on the live show. Here we're talking about the Wolves and the Magic. We've got Paolo coming back, probably 20 to 25 minutes, but you see we're just now getting props up for the rest of the Magic players because we just don't know how Paolo's presence is going to impact things once he's back here. And we've got no Jalen Suggs, no Franz, no Mo Wagner for the whole season. So we're going to be seeing probably a good amount of like Jonathan Isaac, Goga Batadze, but let's see what's up with Paolo before we get into that. That's going to be such a low scoring defensive game. Then you've got two teams on the back-to-back for the Raptors and the Cavs. No need for me to really look into this stuff just yet. I don't even have injury reports for these two teams because they don't have to give them yet since they were on the back-to-back last night. This game is also super dependent on injuries because we have Ja questionable and we have Bane questionable. That's why we only have 3 props up for Memphis. So despite the fact that it's about 12:30 p.m. on the East Coast while I'm recording this, it's still not ready for us to make any bets in this game, which also goes for the Rockets at this point. We've got to wait. I will be looking at Ja. This thing jumped up from 21.5 where it opened to 23.5 on the points. I think the points are probably going to be a good play for him, especially if Desmond Bane is not playing. And I think Ja plays. I think they want to win the division, so they need to beat the Rockets. So they're going to put Ja in there, who probably could be looking at availability. It's Desmond Bane, who's a legit questionable tag to me in the Grizzlies game. So let's get into some games that I've got bets for. Let's get into this Jazz Heat game. And if you've been following along at all, you know I don't bet on the Miami Heat. We are in a strict no Miami Heat diet on this show. So we're going to skip over them, but look at Walker Kessler, who continues to be a very, very profitable bet here as we look at how you play him is the question, right? Points, rebounds, which one do you go with? Do you go with both? Do you go with the double-double? And I think the answer is either rebounds or double-double. I like the double-double plus 110 for him. It's 11.5 rebounds and 10.5 points. The points is what scares you because if we come over here to FanDuel Fantasy Pros, which is where you can see team defense ranks versus positions. So how do the Heat defend centers, points, rebounds, assists, threes, what have you? If you put it on centers and you look at rebounds, the third most rebounds in the league are for centers come against the Miami Heat. They're giving up 16 rebounds per game to the center position, and Walker's playing a solid, 30 to 34 minutes at this point because we have, once again, no John Collins, no Jordan Clarkson, no Keontae George. So let's go back over here to NBA Advanced Stats and the Fantasy Labs portion of things where you can go ahead and look at on-court, off-court numbers and see how guys perform when they're on court without certain guys or with certain guys. And we've got Walker Kessler here listed on court, and we've got John Collins, Clarkson, and Keontae George listed off court. So all these numbers are going to be how well Walker Kessler performs without John Collins, Jordan Clarkson, or Keontae George. And if we scroll over here, we can see he's played 146 minutes without those guys in that time frame, averaging about 8 field goal attempts per game, 15.7 rebounds per 36 minutes. This is all in 36 minutes. So if you look at it per minute, it's going to be about half a rebound per minute for this man. And if he plays 30 minutes, then you have him at a projection of about 15 rebounds. Just some simple hood math for you guys. In the points column over here, we're at about 14 points per 36. So you can see he's actually averaging more rebounds per 36 minutes than points. I think the best play here, double-double, feel good about the plus 110. I'm also going to get a little bit of a ladder on the rebounds alone because I think the rebounds are the strongest prop that we can bank on here. So I'm going to be tackling that stuff for Walker Kessler on the double-double and a bit of a ladder play on those boards. I think we have to at least consider Jaime Jaquez Jr. Now, you know I don't play Heat props. This is the only way that I'd be looking for an angle for the Heat, though, is Jaime Jaquez Jr. So to be clear, this is not on my card. This is a strong lean, and I will be going back over this in the live show at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. Might even get this into the VIP Discord for those who are already subscribed there. Get this bet in before the live show, but we'll see. I'm going to look at the market pressure and how things move for Jaime. But like obviously the last 3 games here, we've all been without Jimmy. Jimmy's been basically off the team for the last 3 games at this point. Who knows how this is going to end? I probably without Jimmy, but Jaime Jaquez Jr. is the Jimmy replacement. And we've been talking about that since last season. It has not been the case as consistently this year. If we look at Jaime this season without Jimmy Butler, just keeping it on Props Madness here, it's still decently better than the numbers that he has without him. 10.6 points per game without him versus with Jimmy Butler, it's at like 8.5 points per game, right? So he is better without him. Still not up at 13.5. But the key here is the minutes for Jaime, right? And I think the minutes are going to start to come his way because it's it's about to turn the corner for the Heat, where they've got to go to the young guys now, and that's what Jaime Jaquez is. And once again, he's the Jimmy Butler replacement in terms of going to the rim, the way that they're playing in the corner, and the defense that he brings. When he does that, when he's out there without Jimmy, right? So if we look at that on here, he's spot up, transition, free throws. That's how he's going to be getting his stuff, because he's going to the basket or he's spotting up. And against Utah, like, they're not bad against the spot up by any means. You can see here, they're actually really good against the spot up. They're ranked, where we at here, 12th, limiting spot up points to the opposing team. So for Jaime, that is an important shot. Obviously, the matchup in terms of the type of defense isn't ideal, but I think the minutes will be there for him. And if we put the minutes filter on here and give him, let's say, at least 30 minutes tonight, right, without Jimmy Butler, in the games that he's played 30 minutes this season, he's at about 14 points per game, going over in half of them. And Jimmy was available for a few of those games. If we put him at about 34 minutes, which would be reasonable, to be honest, on the season, then it's 2 out of 3, 16 points. But the point is the minutes, and he hasn't gotten that as consistently. Tonight, I think you can feel better about it, but this is why I don't bet on the Heat in general. Is even when I have these strong leans into guys that I think are going to play, Spo pulls the rug out from under me and plays Pelly freaking Larson for 38 minutes. So I don't know about that with Spo, but if you want to bet on a Heat player, this is my preferred look for value at 13.5 points for Jaime Jaquez Jr. One more bet on the card. We've got a look for the Falcons, the Hawks here, the Atlanta Hawks. I know which sport I'm talking about. And we're going with the man, the myth, the guy who's made us coin all season, DeAndre Hunter. Now, I'm trying to see if 17.5 is still here, because that is a system play. So the juice is now really bad, right? It's minus 140 is the best number for 17.5. I still think you can take 18.5. I know he's gone under 18.5 in 2 games in a row, but there's very good reasoning for it. One, they got blown the hell out by the Clippers the other night. So he scored 18 points in 28 minutes. And in that game, he also had a couple fouls like he did in the next game. Shot really poorly, 6 of 16 from the field, right? Only made 2-point field goal attempts, relying on a ton of threes. So that was a bad matchup also against the Clippers, who are much better on defense than the Suns. And then this 17-point game 2 nights ago against Utah for him, same thing. Only played, missed about 4 minutes in the second quarter because he picked up his 3rd personal foul in the second quarter and then was done for the first half. In the second half, came back around, started playing a lot better, but missed those 2 free throws that would have gotten us there. So there's just all these little simple ways that DeAndre Hunter would have gone over in the last 2 games. And getting this kind of value after he fails to go over without Jalen Johnson playing, by the way, right? We see without JJ, Triple J, he's getting a lot more points this season. Let me do it on Props Madness. Remove Triple J, the last 2 games are the first time he failed to go over. In the first 3 games without, not Triple J, Jalen Johnson. In the first 3 games without Jalen Johnson, he was looking at 15 field goal attempts, 20 field goal attempts, 14 field goal attempts, right? The last 2 games, 16, but a really poor shooting percentage, an anomaly, and then just 11 field goal attempts because he missed the time in the second quarter where he'd normally be playing without Trae Young, and he could have gotten a lot more field goal attempts. Missed that crucial opportunity. So those are explainable. The key thing here for DeAndre Hunter is going to be the field goal attempts, right? And that's why I still like him in this game, is because he took the field goal attempts against the Clippers. Great defense, missed it. Fine. Didn't take the field goal attempts against Utah because of circumstances outside of our control. Great. Still shot a great percentage. If he gets 14 to 15 field goal attempts, he's good for the points. And that's what he's averaged without Jalen Johnson, is about 15 field goal attempts per game in the 5 that he's played without JJ. If you go back to the filters here and look at the whole season with or without Jalen Johnson, and we take the field goal attempts filter and we move it up to just 14 per game. Let's say he takes 14 shots in a game this season. How has he done? Well, we're talking about over in 12 of 14 games, 23 points per game when he shoots at least 14 shots. He's averaging 15 without Jalen Johnson. So we just keep going back to this bet without Triple J, because he's going to continue to get 20 to 22 points per game without Jalen Johnson, barring any weird setbacks that we can't control. And that's the thing about betting. I'm not trying to control every circumstance of the bet. I can only base this on what I know is a good projection and controllable projection. And that is him to take 14 to 15 shots. And when he does that, he's very good on the hit rate here. So we like him for over 17.5. And if you need to take it over 18.5, I would play it to minus 115 to 120 in that range, as the worst odds I would take for Hunter at 18.5 points. One more play for now before we do get on the live show at 5:30 p.m. Eastern today. Bring your bets. Quick reminder, jump in the comments and we'll go over all the stuff you want to look at, in addition to just everything we all want to look at, right? I know what you guys want to look at, but we take your bets in the comments and we go through that stuff together. So let me close it out here with a guy who I caught flack for taking recently, but we're going back to him. That's Max Christie. I still don't think at the PRA, because what we're looking at for Max Christie is not, oh, he's been shooting lights out, or, oh, he's getting so many more shots. It's just that he's on the floor for the most amount of time that you can get without being Austin Reeves, Anthony Davis, or LeBron James. Other than those three key players, Max Christie might be the fourth most important player on this team now. Say what you want about that. Ball knowers know. I'm not going to respond to any of these comments about Max Christie slander at this point. He's a very good player. He's a very good defender, and that's why he's out there for the minutes. And if you chase the minutes, it's been now what? This is, let me get this down here. This is like the last 9 games, 8 games. This is the last 8 games is when he was inserted into the starting lineup and started seeing 30 plus minutes of action in every game. The only games he did not see 30 plus minutes of action, they lost by 12 to Cleveland. He came out of that one, didn't have a good game in general, 28 minutes, fine. Against the Hawks, 33 minutes, won by 17, played the amount of minutes you would want, played pretty well. Also, 7 rebound chances, only 2 potential assists, and only 4 shots, but still played really well in that game, right? And so it's only those 2 games in the last 8 since he was inserted into the starting lineup and started getting the 30 plus minutes where he's at 19 PRA, and that he's only gone under twice now, right? If you look at the games, if you put this at 14.5, by the way, which is available on Bet365, he's over in 7 of 8 games, still averaging 19.1 PRA. So it's the volume of minutes that's just going to lead to him getting points, rebounds, and assists no matter what, because when he plays at least 30 minutes this season, he's at a really, really good hit rate. So let's put him just on the whole season real quick, just to show you that as well. 30 minutes at least for Max Christie on the season. Let's do it for the whole season. He's played at least 30 minutes in 12 games. He's gone over in 10 of 12, averaging 18. So this still isn't high enough. The 15.5 is getting close. 16.5 is right at the ceiling of where I would play Max Christie. But 14.5, 15.5 PRA, that's a bet. One final reminder, got the live show, 5:30 p.m. Eastern. So although we only have a few books on the plays on the books right now, we are going to get a few more. And if you do want to jump into the VIP section of the Discord so you don't miss any of the great action I'm bringing, and the VIP cappers who are in there as well, gas capping with me alongside, definitely jump into the VIP. And if you want a free month, you can use code LYB, sign up for one of these sports books. Not just these two, Underdog, BetMGM. We've also got a couple other books that are linked in the description of the video. So if you sign up for one of those, use code LYB, get all your bonus money and all your free bets, and then send me a screenshot showing me that you did sign up using code LYB. I'll give you a free month in the Discord, right? So it's at JLBoogie on Twitter and Discord, and that'll help you get that free month. So see you guys at 5:30 p.m. Best of luck with everything until then, and until I see you then, happy betting.